Okay, so we talked about the sales center. So now the question is, how can we better present or promote influence perceptions in our marketing assets? So as we look at our marketing assets, what are we doing as we're sharing to be able to influence those perceptions? So we'll toss that question to, I think, actually, let me go to Mike first.
Sure.
And then, well, maybe I don't have Mike. I thought we had Mike, so I'll turn it to you. Go ahead.
Sure. So let's use this green board as an example.
Okay.
Okay, so you're saying that the price is much, much lower.
Yep, it's better price.
Right. So what that does, some of you might have seen this this image yesterday. What that does is it lowers that bottom line, that floor that you have to sell it at. What it does as well, for certain customers anyway, is it raises that ceiling because it will be of higher value because it is sustainably sourced, because it is stronger, because of all of those things. What that does is not only allow you to charge more if the value is higher, it gives you a wider range of prices that you can charge. Now, in order to do that, you have to measure and understand the value that you are presenting to the customer so you know where that ceiling is. And you don't want to price at that ceiling, because what you're doing then is giving the customer a difficult decision to make between a higher priced green board and a lower priced drywall. Yes?
Does it have a better fire rating, was the question.
Yeah.
It's fire reflective. We have video 6,000 Fahrenheit for 7 hours straight and does less than 1/16 of damage. You just wipe the soot off. It's crazy. Yeah, it's wild.
Lots of value there. So you're looking for good opportunities like this. It might be the materials that you're using. It might be the features and benefits you're putting in the home. It might be that peace of mind that you're selling. But you're looking for those big ranges where you have lots of options for where you can price within that range and still make a good margin for yourself. You can also influence perceptions through things like bundling. Okay, so you have that customer who cares about sustainability, who wants to buy this because it's sustainably sourced. What else can you sell in the home that is sustainably sourced, and put it all together in one bundle under one price, not to make it cheaper, but to make it easier for the customer to say yes to that price. It's not bundling so you can discount these features. It's bundling because you know this customer cares about this, and you want to give them one decision to make instead of 20 decisions to make, where they might say yes to some and no to others. And highlighting those key features, as Ryan was talking about. What does this customer care about? Let me sell that.
Is anyone having good experiences with bundling, creating bundles like that to make the decision easier for customers? I'm seeing some nods, so definitely seems to resonate.
And I think the next slide is me as well, yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing you can do, and maybe you're doing this already, as I've said 1,000 times already, I'm not a housing guy, so I'm not as familiar with your industry. I know the car industry does this. Having a map like this that you can give customers about, here's what we're doing, here's what the competitors are doing, here's what used is doing, this is what you get in a used house, this is what you get in a new house. The image I just pulled off the web, it's not housing, it's databases. And making sure that the one you create for your customers makes you look the best you can. Those key features along the top, you're hitting all of those, your competitors are not hitting all of those. You make this the version of this that best reflects you. Not only do you have a sales tool that shows we've got everything you want, you're also teaching the customer, these are the features you should be looking for. This is what's important, those features along the top. If the other sellers don't have this, you're missing something. And so therefore, you can influence not just whether or not they pick you, but the reasons why they're picking you. And you can learn about your customers in terms of what they actually see as important out of that list through your sales conversations with them. Find those areas of concern. What do they think might be missing? What are they coming to you and asking, do you have this? And either get that or be able to explain to them why you don't have that, why it's not important. When I teach basic marketing components like positioning, like this is who we are and why you should choose our company, it's not just saying we're the best at it. It's also teaching them what this thing that we're the best at is the most important thing. And you'll see that successful marketing campaigns, whether for products, big products, little products, politicians, whatever else, that's what they do best. They say, this thing that we're best at, that's the most important thing. And for some customers, it'll be sustainability, and others it'll be resiliency, and others it'll be location, and others it will be aesthetics. And you have to make sure you're explaining to them, this is what we're best at, and this is why it should matter.
So my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I know this isn't the housing specific, but let me just restate. across the top, we would have different features. You could say,
Yes.
these are the things that are in our houses.
Yeah.
The rows would be, perhaps the first row is a used house, and none of them are checked off because you don't get any of these things.
The
per
first
house.
row should be you.
Okay, so first row should be you, and say, here's all the things that we provide. Here's a used house, which is one alternative, and then
With lots of
our
blanks, yeah.
and then our competitors
Yeah.
that are also selling new houses. They may do some of these things, but they're not doing these ones here. So you want to have
Yeah.
okay.
And not just hand it to the customer, but also explain this is why each of those columns is important. This is why it's going to matter to you when you move into this home that you have these features.
In terms of either lifestyle experience they might get from
Could be
it.
anything, yeah.
It could be reduced total cost of ownership because of
Yeah.
of it being envelope tight. It could be all of
It
these
could
things.
be when you're going to get the house, right? It could be how many times you're going to have to or you're going to want to visit the site before it's built. It could be anything that you see as both valuable to the customer and something you can do well.
Okay. Any other reaction?
Yeah, no, this is awesome, and it totally echoes exactly what I was kind of saying, how we look at it we just call it KYA, right? Know your audience. This is how you get to know your audience right here. I mean, we don't, we have a lot of sessions where we just talk about this all the time. If you don't know your audience, why are you even trying to talk to them? What are you talking to them about? You don't know anything they're wanting, right? So this is really important. I love this.
So by show of hands, how many of you have something like this already on your website that's kind of at least highlighting? So we've got over here. Okay, so this is an opportunity.
Yeah, and Brandon, if I might, so years and years ago, not that I'm that much more knowledgeable about cars now, you go to a dealership, they have stuff like this. They'll say this model has this model doesn't have this. They may not have the competitors on there, but they'll have this kind of grid. They have it on their website. And when I went to go buy my first car, I remember asking them about one of the columns, what is this? It was some technical automotive thing that I still don't understand. But by asking that question, they know, okay, this guy doesn't know anything about cars. He's not looking for, performance features or engine features. He's probably looking at comfort, aesthetics, bells and whistles, that kind of stuff, and gets back to knowing your audience through what are they asking about this. So when they see a column and they say, what is Greenboard? I don't understand. You look at that and you say, okay, here's an opportunity.
And I would imagine by leveraging digital assets for marketing, which I know a lot of salespeople used to have just the pamphlets,
paper,
right?
yeah.
The paper that I've seen a lot of companies in various industries now moving to an iPad, and it's kind of choose your own adventure. That as soon as they start probing and asking those questions, they can actually take a different branch of the presentation that's now going to have slides and features and things that cater to that particular demographic that's going to help progress the sale.